International Olympic Committee has the honor of announcing that the 21st Olympic Winter Games in 2010 are awarded to the city of Vancouver.
Poverty, homelessness, and drug addiction.
More of this portrayal of the downtown east side as a terrible, evil 4 blocks of hell is going to continue to happen.
Poverty is the crime.
Now a new initiative has been launched to provide camera phones to residents of the downtown east side to allow them to capture life from their perspective.
To be accepted here in the downtown east side is no easy feat. I wear that as a badge of honor.
It's transitioning the storytelling into a social media realm and giving the Downtown Eastside residents the tools to play a part.
Mobile technology as a tool for citizen journalists to tell their own story.
All media that hopes to have an existence in the future has to be, by definition, social. The human network, the social network, has now taken the place of the news network.
It's really hard to notice the incremental change day to day, but if every 2 years you take a stop and a look and you say, how much has the media changed at this Games compared to how it was 2 years ago, it's that perfect lens.
One might think about the role of social media at the Olympic Games. Well, how does a community try to self-organize to actually report on things?
We're producing our own stuff, and we're actually telling the real stories. This is real citizen journalism at its best.
I'm Garvin Snyder. I'll be 46 this May the 30th. I live here in the downtown east side. I've been there for 7 years. I moved here from Ottawa, our nation's capital. I have no children. I was married back in 1989 to a beautiful young woman from the eastern Quebec townships named Joanne Turojot. And God love her, she's in heaven now. She was a wonderful woman and taught me the value of love. All my plans had fallen through. They just didn't gel together the way I had thought.
I hail from the Midwest, and I came to Vancouver to study music and journalism. And after a car accident a few years ago, I came into the downtown east side to search for the meaning of my life again.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Olympic crowd go!
And I figured that if I could help others find themselves again, that would begin my way of healing and growing as a person again, because I would say I'm still quite, I'm still hurt inside.
I'm going to talk to you guys tonight a little bit about the future and the way that I see things moving. And this is a future as defined by open media, open culture, open source software standards.
I guess my first a big kind of foray into the internet was this magazine I started in '98 called Spark Online. And it was a magazine about digital culture, and as we called it at the time, just exploring electronic consciousness. Like, what does it mean to be hyper-connected in real time? What does it mean to have digital avatars or representations of ourselves on? How does that change how we perceive ourselves and how we perceive other people? The internet's been my one true love for over 10 years, I think. It's where I spend a lot of my time. So I'm happiest when I'm messing around with technology and building things and doing stuff, and I'm also like when I can flex my creative muscles and do artistic things. So combining the two, the technology, internet stuff that I do with my photography and video and other types of art, that's the stuff that makes me the happiest.
There's a bit of a turf struggle around who would get that space. So the restaurant is going to be there.
I've lived in the Downtown East Side for over 20 years, and a lot of my interest is in doing social justice work around marginalized populations and supporting programs and projects that can enable people to make an impact and build leadership skills.
On November the 7th, 1986, and he gave my dad and afterwards our first break, which was amazing. See you guys later. You have a good tour guide. He is the best. No joke.
It's a brand new organization that is reflective of different groups. There's a writers group, there's a printing group, there's a radio group, a television group, art gallery project, performance theater. They tend to be marginalized groups, Aboriginal, youth. People who don't have access to technology will have access and will be able to sustain their access. The fact is, most people are powerless around impacting the processes that govern their lives. And what community media does, community media subverts that by enabling people to tell their own stories, to reflect their own experiences to their own communities. And I think that's really, really relevant for an inner city community that currently doesn't have those tools, doesn't have access, but has tremendous storytelling capacity. When we took on the task of building a W2 in Woodwards, it was fraught with risk and peril. The Woodwards development is a $320 million development, and we've been working really hard for the last few years to build a community legacy from the Woodwards development.
The old Woodwards department store in this area was a very significant icon for people in this community, and for years and years and years, we fought for that space to have some relevance to this community. There were many, 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 many battles that culminated in 5 people initiating a squat in that site when it looked like there was no hope, when it looked like a developer was coming in and going to put 500 condos in there.
Music and banners, the homeless, the poor, Aboriginal rights and social justice activists have squatted Woodwards since September the 14th, the active continuation of a decade-long campaign to build social housing on site.
The squat really stopped that happening and came up with a compromise. The compromise was there would be at least 30,000 square feet of places in there that were relevant to groups in this community.
The city did a good thing consulting the community. What did the community want from the Woodwards site?
How can we create a physical space that can gather people together, that we can inspire cross-cultural dialogue?
Myself and dozens of other Downtown Eastsiders participated in that planning process. After several years, we won the bid, and it's taken a few years of negotiating with the city to have the city do the right thing, which is finish that space and have it as a legacy. We're in this beautiful 1.5-foot thick cement bunker, which is the Woodwards food floor, and I remember going down the escalator here when I was a kid. I must have been really young, like 4 or 5. It's one of my earliest memories as a child was going down the escalator at Woodwards downtown. So here we are, we're going to create a bunker where kids can do punk rock and Aboriginal youth can come together and produce a cable hip-hop TV show every week. So this is what we've designed. You come into the cafe from the basement, or you come to it from the second floor. Who wants coffee? W2 Cafe coffee.
Nice trees.
We're close. It's going to happen now. Like, we're physically in here. You know, maybe we'll just camp overnight and we'll just stay right through the Olympics.
One more time, KK. Leg up. Go. Good. Thanks, everybody.
It's a far cry from the life that brought her to this part of town. Was rock bottom here, or was it?
It definitely was. It definitely was. It was basically coming to the end of my line, and I think that if it wasn't for people like Erwin Ostindi, I would have faded away, or I would have become a statistic.
And so with a simple picture, April is changing her image and that of Vancouver's poorest neighborhood.
Being active and staying positive through making mobile media productions is so important. It's my way of rehabilitation for myself. So I came into the downtown east side. I didn't know anyone. It was definitely a baptism by fire. I was really surprised at the open air drug market, the dissonance, the noise, the crowds. I noticed that you got your own sink.
Yeah, completeness. Yes. Usually when I come home, there's all sorts of creepy crawlies everywhere.
Are these not your official Olympic mascots, though?
Well, they're all through the building, so I guess they're Olympic. At least I got a room, huh?
But after I look past that, there's a huge community. There's a growing community. It's where I call home now, and it's definitely a place that I would love to help grow and heal and become beautiful. I think social media helps to democratize imagery of the downtown east side. I had no idea that you could make mobile media through simple camera phones. We learned how to shoot, how to record, how to make your own media. And this is where AHA Media got its first start. AHA Media's very first post was back in November. A little short posting, "Hi, we're online, welcome." Our hopes for AHA Media is to be Vancouver Downtown East Side's preeminent news and event reporting site.
Mr. Mayor, it's good to see you again. Can I film you? I'm glad you're here. This is so wonderful, and I'm trying to learn about citizen journalism with mobile camera phones, and I'm continuing Downtown East Side spirit. That was a wonderful experience.
Vandalized. About 2 months ago, they were having a video streaming event where teams of 2 or 3 would go out into the community with cell phones and do reports from different locations throughout the downtown and the downtown east side. I had never seen this live video streaming and seen the small size of the hand units, and just wrapping my mind around that concept, how Joe Average can go to an event and take video and send that video out to around the world, and then have people who are viewing it respond back to it and have that interaction. It's really going to be a revolution.
We're having a silent art auction, so go around and you can bid on everything you see here.
About 3 years ago, I became involved with the street newspaper, The Megaphone. Because of my involvement in the anti-Olympic movement, I had been arrested a number of times and was having problems getting employment. In March 2006, I was charged with spray painting the Olympic clock on behalf of Mrs. Betty Krajcek. When she was given a 10-month sentence for breaching her conditions with the Eagle Ridge Bluff protests, I was appalled. Really, her passion for her beliefs shined through, and that's really touched my heart. We're trying to tailor the magazine for more interest for the customers. The opportunity came up that I could go and sell the street newspaper as a way of making some income. And have a good day. And I thought it was a great idea, so I went at it wholeheartedly.
Oh, Garvin is incredible. He's a great vendor, you know, and is a really great representative of this community. He's just a spark plug. He's got so much enthusiasm and is just a tireless volunteer. He's fantastic. We're raising awareness. We're trying to bring attention to homelessness, to poverty, and to a lot of issues that maybe aren't getting covered in the mainstream media. People's lives can be pretty fragile down here, and Megaphone is a way to try to, you know, provide some stability in their lives.
If you make enough money to get something to eat that you don't have to go into the food line, or you make enough money to buy your shelter bed, pay for your mission bed for the night or whatever, you're a successful business person for the day. We give people their dignity back. I watch so many generous people here in the city give people change. It would be so nice for those of us receiving the gift to be able to give something back, whether it's beautiful images or relevant information or relevant stories.
For more and more people, every games, their complete interaction with the games comes from online places. When you're walking around with your phone connected to a Wi-Fi network at the Olympics and you're taking pictures of your friends with gold medalists, you don't think of it as, you know, media coverage or whatever. It's just become a reflex. The first Olympic Games I ever went to was the 2006 Winter Olympics in Torino.
Buongiorno Internet, KK here with Robert Scales.
Hello. Rolling in the back of a cab here in Torino, Italy. It was a blast. We registered at the media center and just got out onto the streets and tried to cover like the cultural side of what goes on during Olympic Games.
Chris went to Turin and Beijing. I was at Salt Lake and did a whole real-time photo documentation of my 28 events in 13 days, which was no small feat. What I realized throughout that time was what you see on TV is very different than what happens on the ground. It was so much fun. You go into these hospitality houses and you're partying with athletes, you're partying with these people from foreign countries. No one pretends that there's this veil of amateurism to the sports anymore. It is a commercial enterprise run by the IOC, and it keeps a lot of dudes very, very rich. And there's always a scandal, and there's always a thing, but at the heart of it, it gives a chance for people from foreign countries to get together and hang out. And if you have that going on enough in the world, it's going to be a much happier place all around, you know?
So here is the lay of the land as I understand it for the 2010 Games. There's going to be multiple levels of media accreditation. There will be the accredited media who will get to go work out of the accredited media center. It's folks like CTV in Canada won the right to be the national broadcaster. They paid a lot of money to do so. CBC got locked out. You know, in the States, it's NBC is the official rights holder and CNN is not. Next, there will be a secondary level. It's going to be called the BC International Media Center.
Chris Krug and I went down to the worldwide press briefing. Right away, we were grouped in with the protesters. Is it the way I dress? Is it the way I look? But as soon as we walked in, they're like, you can protest over there. I'm like, no, we're here to report. We as taxpayers and we as citizens and we as fans, we own as much of the culture about the Olympics as the IOC does. They see the internet as a threat. The internet is the second biggest threat after doping. Like, come on.
What we're trying to do with the True North Media House is to build a venue to provide services to foreign journalists and online media bloggers, social media folks, as well as things like a ski blog from Sweden or something, where they're sending someone over to cover it, but they're not big enough to get into the BCIMC. But they're still a bona fide news source to this in this new emerging media marketplace.
In order for this to be successful, one of the things that's really important is to help define where that line is of what the Olympics will allow, what we as citizens are allowed, turn the tide of how media is created a little bit.
My name is Rebecca Bulwitt, and I write a blog called Miss 604, and since 2006, I've been involved with something called Blogathon. It's where bloggers sign up to raise money for a cause. And in the spirit of other athons, we are blogging every half hour for 24 hours straight.
I came down here to talk about True North Media House because really the people who are here, well, and their counterparts from other countries, are the people that I envision will be the ones participating in True North Media House as far as using it actually as a resource to create media. You folks are people with a blog or a podcast or a vidcast, or you take pictures and you have an established audience. We working together can beat the drum way louder than any one of us can individually. The True North Media House will be everywhere. We'll be a series of meetups, photo walks, collaborations, concerts, parties, and resources and sharing of information. The grassroots is now leveling up against the mainstream media. Can we launch this into something new for the future that years from now people can go, wow, it really changed in Vancouver?
Hi there, today we're here right at Carnegie Center. We're here to see the unveiling of the top 40 finalists of the Hope and Shadows calendar event. The Hope and Shadows calendar event is a 3-day photo contest where 200 cameras were given to 200 residents to go out and shoot this year's theme, which was heart of the community. So whatever they felt was representative of the heart of the community. Top prize gets $500, but then there's lots of little prizes afterwards. But it's just a chance to even participate in this contest is a remarkable thing. I'm number 3, by the way, so vote for me.
All the photos are amazing and surprising. Every year we have a different theme, but it's always kind of the same theme. You know, it's just a way of getting people to look at the community and find ways of portraying it that kind of reveal the essence of it. The people in the community voted for it, the awesome shot of 3 First Nations kids, and I think that really speaks to a very important demographic in the downtown east side, and also the youth, because they are the flag bearers of the First Nations community. Having people from the community on the street, signing the calendar, pitching it, really very proud of the calendar, that's huge. You know, so I think that is the key to the growth of the calendar, is the vendor program and the enthusiasm that residents have for the whole project.
I've participated as a photography contestant for the last 6 years. I'd say a good 30 to 40% of my annual income is made from the Hope and Shadows calendar sales. Last year, they calculated about $130,000 was generated as vendor income. You guys know, I'm always about us helping each other. It's been year 7 now, so I don't think we're going to have any problems. You can sell outside. I've been very proud to say that I've become the training facilitator. The vendors receive training with a seasoned vendor, such as myself. This year we're hoping to train 300 people. I think that would be incredible to expand the number of people who are capable of making their own income and being self-reliant.
We have this huge task in front of us, make this world an amazing place, and none of us can do it by ourselves. And we call this festival Justice Rocks. And somebody said, you know, justice doesn't rock. Justice sucks. You know, I see the way justice is implemented against poor and oppressed people. Justice is a hard edge. I'm here for the justice, but I'm also here for the rock, but mostly for the justice. I've watched a number of changes happening in this neighborhood
The signs went out on Hastings Street. The new bylaws, no street vending, no camping, no structures. The police were doing a number of ticketing sweeps where they were going around and ticketing people for jaywalking.
This is a direct criminalization of poverty.
The program's based on a group in the States called the Lawyers Guild has put together a legal observer program that trained observers at a number of high-profile major attendance protests. Well, I think the big problem is the uncertainty. On one hand, you have government saying it's going to be business as usual. Everything that was legal before will be legal during the Olympic Games. But then at the same time, we have them passing bylaws that restrict people's ability to protest and hold signs. We have them signing contracts that swear that there won't be any protests within view of Olympic venues.
David Eby just did a YouTube video of the police confiscating a homeless man's possession over on Cordova Street, which is like half a block down from where I live.
Sure you want to throw that shopping cart full of stuff away?
What do you suggest we put in there?
We've got to give them 15 minutes to come back, you know?
Now, the police come and the city comes and confiscates people's belongings. Now, a lot of the street people have shopping carts. The city will come and empty the belongings, people's clothes, their sleeping bags. Most of the stuff ends up directly into the back of the garbage trucks.
Pivot will be offering the community Know Your Rights workshops in the lead up to the Olympic Games, just to ensure that people are well aware of their rights when they're dealing with police, with respect to private security guards, with rights to use public space, to sleep, and these kinds of issues, legal issues that we want to make sure people have a good sense of before the Olympic Games come.
You are the leaders of this community. You are the leaders.
I want to fight the fight and use social media to tell people about our stories, what we're doing in this area. We're here at CBC for Net Tuesday, September 1st, 2009. And I'm going to be speaking about AHA Media in conjunction with W2 Community Media Arts Center. And I'm here with our great guru, Chris Krug. So I have a speech. I didn't realize we were supposed to do like presentation. No, I didn't really know.
Not everyone has. Don't worry.
Everyone else was slick and polished. They had beautiful flash websites. All we had was AHA Media. It's AHA Media, so I hope it's still here.
Oh.
Maybe I had 3 minutes to basically be able to speak what AHA Media does. This year, we will be expanding our networks with the broader social media network in the city. We began documenting our further journey into social media by virtue of becoming hyper-local, new media citizen journalists, reporting on the positive stories of the Downtown Eastside residents. I was really, really scared. I was nervous. Halfway through the speech, I felt faint. It was definitely like walking to a cliff and just dropping, like dead drop, 100 feet down into the water. I felt that this really was a growing and learning experience. For you, it's a progression of myself as a young, marginalized woman of color to come before you all and say, wow, thank you so much for the bottom of my heart. Trying to make a company out of something that was a beautiful project. All the emotions, and being a woman feeling, can I hold it together? Can I present this right? Can I lead my team? Can I really do this? And just, a lot of times I do feel like I'm all alone, and the only thing I have is AHA Media, and we can use Twitter and social media and Facebook and blogs to say, this is what's happening in our area, and we hope that we can be effective and supportive to help Vancouver grow and become a better place. So.
Oh man, we've been really busy with the Olympics coming up here in like 90 days or something, so we're in full swing on True North Media House, and W2's coming along.
Buy a ticket
The goal of this campaign when we started was to put social media into the dialogue and into the vocabulary of this Olympic movement. There's a lot of people that are coming that are just starting to learn about these web tools. We put together all sorts of resources of where you get Wi-Fi, the do's and don'ts and can'ts of what you can do, the hospitality maps, concentrate on telling stories, internationalizing, and having a good time, which are my, main objectives for the whole thing, right? Seeing your coverage in Copenhagen and seeing not only the volume of it, but the importance of it, it wasn't just looking from the outside, and you were in there being both a participant and a documenter, and able to distribute that, you completed all those sections of it. I think that was wicked practice for Olympics too, eh?
Over in Copenhagen, I was a part of the Fresh Air Media Center, which was kind of the first online media center of its kind for independent alternative media and kind of dissenting voices and stuff. So we had literally hundreds and hundreds of people through there every day, writers and journalists, photographers, video crews, making media and distributing it back with the world, reporting on the Copenhagen Climate Change Summit. So I think here in Vancouver that the W2 Culture Media House is set up a lot like that, and that you'll see a kind of a similar effect. And this is kind of going to be an independent organizing model going forward, where you get a bunch of independent media together in a house or a center or a building. You give them coffee, beer, and fast Wi-Fi. You do daily press briefings there right under their nose and give them a space so they can work together and share resources and stories and leads and stuff. And I think you really amplify the power of the network and give it a much louder voice. I've been preparing for the Olympics for a couple years now, and it turns out I'm involved with all sorts of different things. I'm doing some work for the Cultural Olympiad, and I'm helping out with the True North Media House, and I'm helping out with the W2 Culture and Media House, and all sorts of stuff. I got my fingers in lots of pie.
During the Olympics, I will be going out to cover a great many events. For instance, we will be having our great Downtown Eastside resident, Robert Milton, be our torchbearer as he runs from Victory Square all the way down to Pigeon Park. So he's going to be running 3 blocks, and a group of us are going to go out and cheer. AHA Media is going to be on site to go and capture him and film him as much as possible. I've also been asked to be part of the new PHS Media Center that's opening up during the Olympics at Interurban Gallery. And this is the first time I've had my own office all to myself.
It's first week of February. Olympics are starting next week, and we're standing outside of W2. We're not inside. The city is doing the interior design of the space, which is great. The architecture is phenomenal. I'm standing on this beautiful snake-like, gorgeous stairwell that connects the National Film Board with the atrium, and this retail space is open, but the W2 Cafe is not open yet. It will be soon. So in the interim of waiting for Woodward's to open, we've rented this beautiful Perel building. It's 13,000 square feet, there's 4 stories, and we'll be running it as an unaccredited media center during the games, and it's called W2 Culture Media House. It's for media, for artists, for Vancouver.
Welcome to W2, the first ever independent social media center for the Olympics.
This edition of the Megaphone is special because it helps to explain to visitors coming to Vancouver for the Olympics what the downtown Eastside neighborhood is, some of its history, some of the social situations that are facing the residents of the downtown Eastside, and it's nice for us, the residents, to be able to educate people ourselves. My upcoming plans for the Olympics, I'm going to be out selling the Street magazine and the Hope and Shadows calendars. I also plan to go out and attend many of the demonstrations, but I'm most looking forward to the 2010 Poverty Olympics. Hey, Hippie. Not too bad coming out for the Poverty Olympics. We're having a big parade today.
Welcome to the Poverty Olympics Torch Relay. This is about the downtown east side taking up space during the Olympics.
2010 Homes, not 2010 Games.
The Poverty Olympics is the perfect way of the community here to raise these issues and to highlight the fact that as people come from around the world to see Vancouver. There's an entire other part of the city that's completely neglected.
Tonight and exercising your free speech rights despite all of the factors that said stay home. It's not safe. You're a danger to the public and we are going to make you pay.
Lauren, this doesn't sound like a very hospitable welcoming to the Olympics.
Well, I mean, it's a bunch of community folk getting together and voicing their opposition to the games.
I was trying to think, what can I do for today's protest that would make a real impact? And I noticed that many people were having their photos taken in front of the Olympic countdown clock. And so I decided that I would be part of all those photos.
Get another picture. One person against 20 million.
I did have a couple of confrontations, but for the most part, people were very supportive of having their picture taken with me at the Olympic clock today. We here are part of this event. We are part of this community, and I'm here to show that we will be part of the souvenirs, of the images that people take home. And when they look at the pictures and go, who is that guy? It'll be me. And I'll be able to say hello to so many international friends around the world.
So here's a story that we've got on our site about the protest on Friday. You can see we've incorporated video from YouTube, photographs from sites like Flickr, and as the story unfolds and develops, other photographs come into the mix. This can be moved around, and you can, affect the layout of this page to showcase the most prominent components of that story. So this story can be told from the perspective of, dozens of people who were there on the scene.
Onto Georgia Street and out into the Olympic City with glowing hearts. Let's go for the goal!
I don't know, it seems really positive. Lots of people excited about being in the street, and that's what free speech is all about.
I think defiant, critical, and I think it's important to have that presence out to make sure we are here to present the real Vancouver, which is marked by poverty, environmental destruction, a housing crisis, a police crackdown on dissent. So it's important to have those voices heard.
I hope that our message got to the IOC in Bannock, that we will not be pushed away, we will not be swept under a rug, we will not go away. We are here for the duration of the games, so you'll have to deal with us at some point. Even when the games leave, we will still be here.
So today we're doing Fresh Media Olympics, a big conference with actually about 2/3 of the people are not from Vancouver. They're from the States, England. We've got people Skyping in from Russia, China, people watching online. A lot of the stuff is more online. So we kind of shifted a little bit. We've got a huge building, but we're using it more for production, and we're hosting conversations that then get broadcast around the world. So people are actually coming in virtually to the W2 Culture and Media House.
One of the main ideas here in constructing this broadcast center is to slowly do an exploration in what a web channel could be. So as well as the production center up here in the first floor, we're doing live streaming of events, and we're trying to make that interactive by Skype calling and getting people chatting and calling in to have their input in what's happening.
Earlier today I was at W2, the Community Media Arts Center, which was all about trying to get social media people oriented into journalism and journalists oriented into social media. There was a series of panels. Andy Maya was there. He's basically the equivalent of a digital anthropologist. He was talking about the Olympics and reporting and different types of styles, and also about social media's role in reporting and how in previous Olympics there hasn't been as much social media, and that this Olympics is really something where multiple viewpoints can come through.
I think what we're seeing here is an opening up of how people can post photographs.
I mean, I think it's probably the first games where there's been such a widespread distribution of sports events through the still image online. And this hasn't caused as many issues for the IOC as it did in Beijing. And that's a shift, I think. I think that their relationship with Flickr and creating a Flickr pool that people can submit their photographs to is one step towards that. But this question about whether we can call it the Twitter Olympics, I think this concept helpfully conveys to us who's telling the stories here. Can we celebrate the Olympic Games, but also critique it at the same time, and through that critique, bring about some kind of social change? I think the Cultural Olympiad, or the cultural dimensions of the Olympic Games, are the only route to do that.
I've been a longtime fan of the Media Shift blog run on PBS.org in the States. They're just kind of a thought leader when it comes to digital culture. They've been doing it for 10 years, huge subscriber base, and I've done a deal with them where they're syndicating some of my content. I'm writing photo essays about the Olympics, social media, citizen journalism and stuff, and publishing it on Media Shift blog, so that was a big day for me. I've always respected those guys a lot, and it was cool to have my work included.
Tweet Up is just a kind of a goofy name for getting together with some folks that spontaneously or organized or unorganized or ad hoc assembled using Twitter as the main broadcast tool. In this case, we were at the DOA concert last night, and about 1 in the morning we were like, hey, what are we going to do for the game tomorrow? We said, well, let's just tell people to meet us at the edge. Boop, 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 boop. A couple little 140 characters later, and it goes around the internet. And then the next day you show up here, and there's people here.
I'm John Beeler, at John Beeler on Twitter. True North Media House. Here's my badge, laminated at Staples.
At every Olympic Games, I spend my time walking around the streets, talking to people, talking to journalists, trying to find out what's going on. I'm interested in the politics, the culture, and how the media operate around Olympic Games. And here in Vancouver, what really interests me is how the range of media are participating. So different places like True North Media House, W2, BCMC, Whistler Media House, these are all new media entities in Olympic Games. So what we have is this radical overhaul of what it counts to be media. So what's going to change as a result of this? Is this going to be a different Olympic experience for most people? Will a global audience be able to see the changes, or will they be still dominated by the traditional media organizations? What really interests me is if that possibility of change is going to occur here.
Downtown Eastside residents coming out, raising the issues.
I'm here in solidarity with the tent city that will be happening here at Pigeon Park today. This is to encourage the municipal and provincial governments to allow people, if shelter beds are full and there's no other option, that they can erect their own shelters so that they can stay out of the elements and stay warm and safe and dry.
Now Public and the British Columbia Civil Liberties Association, we're sort of teaming up to cover the Olympics. What we're doing is we're acting as a publishing platform for them. What they have is boots on the ground, and what we have is the ability to syndicate and distribute content. I'm definitely going to do this story. It says BCCLA calls on Canadian Border Services to explain their inland patrols. We think that's an interesting story to explore, and so I'm going to be shortly assigning that to one of our writers to follow up on.
The footage that the illegal observers are taking is used in two ways. One is for evidence, and the other is for media purposes. We put together a 3 to 5 minute video every day, and we post them onto our Vimeo account. We make this all public, so this is available to anyone via our website and via Vimeo.
People ask us what they are walking.
What about CBSA?
They're just walking with us.
We were a bit alarmed yesterday when 2 VPD officers and 2 CBSA border security agents entered the media center and under the premise that they were there to see the art, and proceeded to walk through the gallery directly to the cafe with the intent of going to our broadcast control room.
Police are not respecting the distinct and important role that media play.
This parking lot is owned by Concord Pacific. They want to turn it into condos and is now going to be a tent city and social housing for many of the people here in the downtown east side and the greater Vancouver community. Actually, I want to bring you inside the downtown east side house. So welcome to downtown east side house. This is where I've been staying for the last 13 days. This is my bed. This is my storage unit. These are my beautiful little furnaces, my little heaters to keep me warm.
Come in. Welcome, thank you.
I was really lucky to be able to be placed here at the Woodward's Housing Unit. I believe that I was placed in Woodward's Housing because of the great community connections, the great community media work that I do, and to do the continuation of all the social media work in the downtown east side with all my friends. I'm so pleased to show you my very own bathroom. I have my own sink that I don't have to share with anyone. I have a toilet that has 2 flushes. Look, it has 1 flush. This is what I'm gonna wear for tonight, for my world premiere. I may not have the red carpet, but we'll always have the alley. Tonight is AHA Media's very first global screening and world premiere of our 2 films, both called The 12 Days of Olympics. And it's about our time and our lives in the downtown east side during the 2010 Vancouver Winter Olympics. We were able to put together this film. It took 3 months to do it, and it involved 15 of us that got together one day and said, we want to make a film about our lives, about the downtown east side during the Olympics, using the social media tools, and we were able to achieve it, and I'm so very happy for this moment.
On the first day of Olympics, Vancouver got to see
an opening ceremony. On the second day of Olympics, Vancouver got to see
2 cultural artists and an opening ceremony.
On the third day of Olympics, Vancouver got to see
As a blogger covering the games, True North Media House has been an invaluable asset. I mean, Dave Olson has put up information on there about, what photos I can post online, or if I can post video online, and what content I can share here and there. So the guidelines have been a great resource, and it's been a great way to connect with people. I mean, I've met people in this city I've never met before through blogging, through True North Media House, because everyone is covering the games in their own way, and everyone's getting their little True North badge. So it's been a really neat way to connect with people, but also use those resources that have been put in place by the True North team.
It's been really interesting to see this little idea that they had for True North Media House sort of explode through Twitter and Facebook and social media. It all sort of really came to a head about 2 weeks before the game started, and then it just started exploding, and it hasn't really stopped the momentum since.
It's really important to remember about the True North Media House that this is not by anyone. There's no board, there's no organization. Really, it's us who had a passion to make media, interested in the Olympics and understood the scope that what goes on in the street, but really had a sense of wanting to inspire other people to create media, educate people about the way to do it best and to stay out of trouble and to amplify people's coverage. We didn't have $1 billion budget. We didn't have a $100 budget, We just did it the way we needed to do it to make it happen.
They were able to relocate 41 people into Atira social housing buildings or BC housing buildings. So that's a victory. And that's a direct result of Tent City. They did 40 people from the Tent City at Oppenheimer Park, here at the anti-Olympic tent village, we were able to make a record 41. Woo!
About the fellowship, but the international getting together with strangers. I keep on saying it, strangers stop the strangers just to shake their hands, man. And that, truly, more than the gold, that's the real legacy of the games, is that we've gotten to get to know each other a little bit more.
I think that W2 is really the social media story of the Vancouver 2010 Olympics. It really is located within the community on the downtown east side, which is a community that really needs support, and what they're being able to achieve is just remarkable. They've had a full program throughout the games and have been able to bring a range of people to their events. So I think what it's been able to do is engage not just the social media bloggers, but actually accredited journalists as well. I think it's really the success story.
I don't see the True North Media House as being some brand that's owned by anybody. It's like this thing that we did for a while, and then we're gonna do some other awesome thing. Like, what are we gonna do next, guys? Like seriously, like maybe we should sit around for half an hour after this and like, what else is on our mind? Like, how do we want to focus the power that we all have together when pointed in the same direction? Like, that's a good question for us to ask ourselves.
One of the challenges with London is that it's still not as advanced as it should be. I think there's no real evidence of a sophisticated social media strategy. There are clearly ways in which they're delivering it, so that you have the staff blogging on the website, but I've yet to see really real innovation from what they're doing. It seems to me what organising committees need to do is become early adopters. Until we see that strategic vision, I think it's unlikely that this will be a remarkable social media experience, unless they actually see what's happened in Vancouver and try to learn a bit from it.